Is your Mac overheating? Is it just running really, really hot? The fans are screaming, they're so loud. And then the computer's performance is just terrible. It runs slow, it maybe shuts down, it freezes. We're gonna show you how you can fix an overheating Mac and why it's not good if it continues to run hot for long periods of time. Hey, we love macOS security on this channel. And if you do too, and you want to follow along, click on the subscription button, click on the bell. That way you don't miss out on any of our future video releases. As I said, we love security on the Mac. So the thing that you can do to make sure that your Mac is always running secure is of course to have a great piece of anti-malware, antivirus software running on your Mac. We have a great piece of software called Moonlock. Scan your entire computer to identify if there are vulnerabilities, if things are not running well. And then it'll show you whether your Mac is vulnerable, whether your Mac has any malware installed, and hopefully it doesn't. And it'll also even give you recommendations around how you can keep your Mac running secure for longer. You can go and grab it, right? I've got the link to it down below. Go and pick it up. You can download it completely for free and try it for 7 days. And if you want to keep using the software because we love it and hopefully you do as well, you can use the YouTube 10 code at checkout to then get a discount as well. So go and pick it up, Moonlock. Now, the Mac overheating, what is the deal? What is going on here? One of the most common causes of your Mac overheating is that the CPU is just overly used. The CPU is just screaming. The best and easiest thing that you can do to check your CPU is to go to the activity monitor. The activity monitor is a space that you can actually see all of the things that are running on your Mac. You can see exactly where your CPU sits on here. The CPU is used for video rendering, for browser tabs, for background apps, for virtual machines, for Docker, for Xcode, for Chrome, whatever you're doing. The more stuff you've got running on your Mac at the same time, the higher processing power your Mac will need. And the CPU runs really, really fast, really, really hot. Your Mac is then going to start to run really, really hot. Now, this one is one that people underestimate, but malware, viruses can actually run in the background on your computer, then causing your Mac to not perform well, but also to perform very, very hot. Because malware does run constantly in the background. It's using the resources on your computer, going out to the internet, using your CPU, using your memory, all of this stuff, chewing up your resources, making your computer run slow, and also causing your Mac to run hotter. Now, if you're using one of the desktop versions, for example, an iMac, check all the vents, check all the sides, check exactly where it is. The hotter the space, the fans that are blocked, the ventilation is blocked, your Mac is going to run hot. If you've got one of the Mac laptops and that thing is running hot, check the surroundings, right? Have a look at the room that it's in. For example, if you're working in a really hot space, it's going to run hot. If you've got the sun beating down onto your computer, it's going to run hot. If you've got the Mac maybe sitting on your lap or sitting on a couch or sitting on some carpet, the ventilation isn't very, very good there, your Mac is going to run hot. So use your computer in a cool space, checking that all the vents, no dust, nothing is obstructing any potential airflow to make sure that your Mac temperature is kept down. If you've got external screens that are like 4K, 8K screens connected to the side of your computer, it's going to need a lot more GPU. The graphics card, the video card inside of your computer is going to be cranking out a lot more grunt, right? And then that ultimately causes your Mac to run hotter than it normally would. High rendering graphics, if you're playing high rendering games, if you're doing video editing, things like this, by default, it's going to need a lot more resources, causing the Mac to run a little hotter than it probably wants to. And before we talk about how you can fix some of this stuff, the last one is also sometimes just the software. The software, the macOS operating system, right? You're running macOS. That version gets updated from time to time. Apple says, hey, this piece of software is out of date. We've identified either a vulnerability, there's some sort of bug on the computer, maybe there's something that is just not performing very, very well on the software side, which then affects the hardware side. But what about the apps on your computer? All of those apps have been made by a developer. And sometimes there's bugs, right? Sometimes these apps have not been built the way that they should, so they're chewing up potentially more resources than they commonly should. So some of these apps, they could be buggy, there could be updates, there could be vulnerabilities, that could also lead to heat on your Mac. So why is overheating bad? Well, firstly, it's gonna just be hot. We don't like a hot computer. If you're running the Mac on your lap, you've got a laptop. I sometimes just put it on my lap. It's going to burn your legs. That's no good. But actually, internally, the components are going to be having a bit of wear and tear. The longer the motherboard, the main board, the CPU, the RAM, the graphics cards, all the bits inside of your Mac, the longer they run, the hotter they run for longer periods of time, those components are going to get more wear and tear. The overall components on the outside of your Mac are going to have wear and tear. Keeping it hot for longer is going to reduce the life of your Mac. You may also encounter just random reboots, restarts of your computer, shutdowns, because your Mac sometimes when it gets too hot, to protect itself, it's just going to be like, no, and it reboots automatically. We don't want that. The battery on your Mac can just have overall degradation as well. You know, maybe when you started having your Mac, it was running 8 hours without problems on the battery. Now it's just running 4 hours. Well, over time, the hotter the whole thing runs, the actual battery performance is going to drop as well. And then sometimes worst case scenario, you do it too long, your Mac just shuts down and may not turn on again. So what are some things that you can be putting in place right now to keep your Mac running cool? First things first, watch how much concurrent things are running on your Mac. I mentioned the activity monitor. Go into there, check all of the stuff that you've got running. You'll be surprised at how many things you probably have running at the same time. Close them in the background. Tabs, browser tabs. Boy, do I love having lots of browser tabs open. But it actually is not good because each tab is going to be chewing up a little bit of resources. Stuff on your desktop. Do you have a cluttered desktop? Do you have thumbnails enabled on those desktop icons? That's all going to chew up a little bit of a resource, requiring more grunt from your computer, causing it to run hotter. So close stuff that you don't need to have open, and then get the Mac into a space where it could potentially run cooler. One example could be if you've got external screens running into your Mac and you keep your Mac shut, sometimes that actually can cause the thing to run a bit hotter. Is it running on a hard surface, like on a table, your laptop, for example, or is it sitting on carpet? I mentioned external displays. If you don't need the external displays, disconnect them. You'll be surprised at how much cooler your Mac runs when it's not connected to external screens. Shut it down, close everything, just shut it down and just wait. Let it cool down. Give it 10-15 minutes to cool down. Get into a good routine of rebooting your Mac. Yeah, because some people, I know I've been guilty of this, I leave my Mac on for long periods of time, right? I leave it on a whole day, and then what I do is when I go home, I just close the Mac. And then the next day I open it up again and continue. And I do this day and day and day in and out. Get into a habit of actually turning your Mac off. Don't just put it to hibernation. Don't just put it to sleep. I mentioned scanning for malware. Very, very important. Go and do that. Go and pick up Moonlock, scan your computer for malware, for viruses, for anything that is not right, because these things are going to make your computer run slow and it's going to make your computer run hot. Consider what apps you've actually got installed on your computer. If you've got apps that need a lot of grunt, a lot of heavy things, if you're running applications that are really, really heavy, have a look at if there are alternate applications. For example, not every single browser is created equal. You've got Chrome, you've got Brave, you've got Firefox, you've got Safari. Well, every single browser operates slightly differently. Some are going to require less power from your computer, and some may actually make your Mac not run as hot. But that's true of many other things. Also, don't be having all of these apps running at the same time. So just be very, very well aware of running an app and then closing it down, running another app and then closing it down, because the more apps you've got running at the same time, the more problems you're going to have. We talked about the browser tabs. Don't have as many browser tabs open also. If you're running a laptop, consider a laptop stand. Get the laptop elevated, putting it on a stand where there's lots of airflow, getting one of these little USB fans, right? You can plug into the side of your USB ports where your Mac sits on top of it. They're great because they keep your Mac running cooler. There's a whole bunch of login items that start up automatically without you knowing. Go and check some of these login items. If there are things in there that shouldn't be starting automatically, get rid of them. Be aware of all of the background applications that are running at the same time, each of them requiring some resources, getting your Mac running hotter, and remove some of the stuff that doesn't need to start up when your computer starts up. So using some of these tips will ensure that your Mac not only runs cooler, but it'll actually run cooler and keep your Mac running better for longer. Why don't you let us know down below in the comments whether one of these helped you out, and maybe let us know of other things that maybe you have tried to keep your Mac running cool. We also mentioned our awesome app called Moonlock to make sure that your Mac is free from malware. Remember, you can go pick it up, try it completely for free for 7 days, and use the YouTube 10 code if you want to buy it so that you can use it forever, because I'm sure that you will love it. Hey, subscribe, follow along. We release videos on all things macOS security. Clicking on the bell, you'll also be notified when we release new videos. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on the next video.